Who have more rights? If you're a Belizean, right, and you go vote, and you exercise your right to vote, but you not one other individual who no vote. Who have more rights? You know why I ask this? Because I remember some years ago, Johnny Briseño and his little crowd then come at my house, just like they gone from one house to the next, right? And I welcome them in, and I tell them straight up, hey man, I just no vote. You know, and Johnny looked at me and say, you know what, that's too bad. That's too sad, because you have the right to vote and you should vote. You should exercise that right. Everybody must exercise that right to vote. And if you don't vote, it's unpatriotic. You know, he even went out to say that people who don't vote are like cowards, right? So it made me think, you know, but I did tell Johnny that we have the right to vote and the right to not vote. But I want you to think about this, right? Let's go say you have an old man, or you have one child, or you have anybody who don't know how to read and write, right? And they're presented with some legal documents. Maybe then they get one inheritance or something, but they don't know how to read or write, right? So obviously, when they get presented the document, they go sign with one X. And one X is enough to suffice that document and be accepted as a signature. Because an X is a signature of somebody, under the law, of somebody who doesn't know how to read and write. Of somebody who is not competent, right? Who needs help. Who needs somebody to represent them. Because they are incapable of handling their own affairs, right? Under the law, that X represents that. Now, voters go and they sign a document and they vote with an X. Now, all voters under the law signing with an X are actually considered incompetent, imbeciles, people who cannot really take care of themselves and need others to think for them and make decisions for them, because they don't know how to do those things. Signing with an X, right? If you sign with an X, basically, under the law, you're considered an imbecile, an idiot, or a child. How about that? It's less offensive. You're considered a child, and you need things to do. You need people to do things for you, because you know all that complete right there. Just to make you understand, you know, people are eager to go and vote, and then proud to say, I don't want to vote. But you see, when you put an X on a piece of paper right there, what you vote for, Tom, you would vote for one company CEO, because Belize is a registered company, and people who don't know how to think, who sign with an X, you know, they don't realize this maybe, you know, and the law takes advantage of them. The legal system takes advantage of them, you know. So when you vote, you're actually voting for somebody who will represent the crown, somebody who will represent the company of Belize, and voting with an X makes you, it demonstrates that you do not have the capacity to understand that voting for somebody to be a company leader can never make laws for the people, because a company can only make policies for the people who work in that company. No company can make laws for the people. Shell gas station can't make laws for the people. Boeing can make laws for the people. But if you go and work for them and you consent to being an employee, now you have consented to being governed by those policies. So because government, that one company, the only way it could govern us is if we give them consent. And if you go and you give them consent with an X, it is understood that you're a child and you don't know how to handle your affairs. You're an imbecile, an idiot, an incompetent. This is not my words. This is words that you could find in the law dictionaries. So I just want to put it out there, right? Just to make you think about it, right? Next time you say, oh, I got rights because I vote. Well, when you vote, you actually vote from a company CEO, and you no longer have rights, because it doesn't seem that you are capable of handling your own affairs. But you have benefits and privileges which can be taken away from you at any time. Taken away, benefits and privileges. And you got obligations as a citizen and imbecile who don't know better. You better listen to the individual which you gave power of attorney to. Right? When you vote as an imbecile or vote as a illiterate, you're giving power of attorney to somebody else to make those decisions for you. And that is why they could impose all kind of things on people. People say, well, I feel like I don't got no rights. Well, maybe because you got signed with an X and you show that you don't know how to exercise your rights. You don't know how to do anything. So you need somebody else to think for you. You need somebody to go clean, the roads for you. You need somebody to teach your children, because you don't know how to do it yourself, according to the law. When you sign with an X like that and it's accepted, you have to understand what that means. Words are very important in the law. So, just something for me to think about. No offense to nobody. We just the talk right now. But next time you go and you want to vote and you want to put on the X right there, just remember what that means. Bless.